But first, let's dive into our new favorite segment. I've been actually really enjoying these. The Ale Academy.
Same.
Beer 101. Great way for people that are kind of looking to get introduced into the space, looking to kind of explore it, get a little bit more knowledge, maybe be a little bit less intimidated jumping into a craft brewery and knowing how to hold their own a little bit more. This segment's for you, and it's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. I was like, clearly I could throw up an amusement park and make a carnival joke here. Those filters aren't distracting at all. All right. Let's kick it off by talking about color and clarity, right? With our eyes right away. When you pour a beer, take a moment to really look at the color. It can range from pale straw to deep black, and its clarity, which might be really clear or kind of hazy. That's got a lot to do with the malt that's being used, and it shows in the body of the beer.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially, I think the easy example that can be a little tricky is clear IPAs versus hazy IPAs, right?
Yep.
Like they're both still the same style. Like you don't necessarily see this in all the styles. Like you don't tend to have like a hazy lager. They just tend to be clear. And stouts are going to be dark. Like that just kind of is what it is. I feel like mainly you're going to see a lot of that in like the pale ale, the IPA kind of segment, depending on how cloudy or not cloudy they're going to be. Another visual, another part is going to be the head of the beer. The color tells you a lot about the malt's roast level. Pale ale, for example, might have a light frothy white head, while a stout's going to have like that creamy, more of like the tan color to it. So really good spot of like the head on the beer really does give a lot of good descriptors and helps with the smell. You get a lot of more of the aromatics coming out of it. And so you start noticing different styles having different colored heads on it. If you notice like our Body by Beer our icons, right? All of the foam on all the different beers are slightly different because it's slightly different for different styles of beer.
Because Chelsea cares about those little things. I would have never noticed. I've been like, make the foam white. You need contrast. Anyway, but aroma. Yeah, the head really takes us right into aroma, as Chelsea said. As a tip, take a deep breath. Right. The scents can really vary differently, right? And it's going to lead you into understanding the differences of beer from the smells, from floral or citrusy hops in lighter beers to coffee, chocolate, toasted notes in some of your darker varieties.
Right. Yeah. And then, as most of you already know, you're going to have aroma, and that's going to dive right into flavors, right? A lot of times when you're getting ready to drink beer, you want to give it a big old sniff before you take your first big swig. It's going to help give you a lot more of the flavor profiles coming up. Each beer style has its own flavor profile. So IPAs are going to be bitter with notes of citrus or pine. Stouts are usually have flavors of like coffee, chocolate, caramel. You've got Pilsners that are going to be like crackery. You've got like red ales that tend to be a little bit like maltier. Not quite as hoppy. Lots of different flavor profiles. We'll probably do a full segment on the different styles, but that kind of gives you a good overview on general high levels of what those are going to taste like.
Absolutely. If I'm not wrong, or I deleted something, we're moving on from the Ale Academy. I feel like that was really short.
It was short. We got more. We got mouthfeel. About the texture, light-bodied beers like Pilsners are often crisp, while heavier beers like porters can be rich and creamy. Part of the tasting experience. Yeah. You also have nitros you can throw in there that are really going to be creamy. Nitros are fun because they're going to be like literally creamy instead of big bubbles. They have itty-bitty tiny bubbles to make it super creamy. And then aftertaste. Yeah, you'll finish each beer. You found it? Okay. Hoppier beers might leave a lingering bitterness, while maltiers can have a little bit of a sweet, smoother aftertaste. And that's where a lot of, at least for me, when I do food pairings, and maybe you agree or disagree, but like I feel like that aftertaste is where I tend to like side on the food pairings of what that after linger is how does that complement the food?
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big indicator, and everybody's palate's going to be a little bit different. But
Yeah.
in general, for our foodies and beer and food pairers out there, pairing a light, citrusy, maybe a wit beer, you tend to go for like a seafood and or a rich porter with grilled meats or chocolate desserts. Those are just some of those more generalized pairings that once you start to do it more, you're going to be like, oh yeah, light, seafood, dark, roasted, right? It's like you're looking more at those complementary flavors.
Yeah, for sure. And to wrap this up here, don't forget to share and learn more, right? Like you can't really do this wrong. You're learning about the different beers. Don't be scared to jump and dive in and try some stuff out. And if you go into a brewery that's like not very busy, like a lot of times it's really easy to get a lot of good notes and comments and talk with bartenders to keep learning more. Sometimes it might get a little spicy at you on a busy day, but in general, not one they shouldn't, but it happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and we talked about before. We've got our affiliate program down here, the Micro Beer Bug Club of the Month. All these beers were actually selected by brewmasters and beer judges. They have 100% satisfaction guarantee. This is a great way for you to get a good variety of beer. You know they're good quality. You don't have to worry about, well, maybe I just got a really bad one of this style. And it's a great way to learn. So again, like if you want to click that link, it's at the very bottom. It's a great way to support the page, and it gives you a chance to a really low friction, take a lot of the stress off, get some really good beers delivered right to your door. So that's super nice. I don't know exactly. Liz got me and Kevin this for Christmas. I don't know when the first delivery is coming up. Yeah, so we'll bust them out.
In January.
We'll bust them out with the new set next week. We've got new stuff coming. Woo-hoo-hoo. Pretty excited about it. We'll check those out. We'll let you know how it goes.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, that is it for. I'm excited to see those, by the way. Yeah, just to go through the whole process. New is always exciting. But that is it for the Ale Academy this week. We sure do hope these tips are helpful and they help you become more beer savvy and enhance your tasting adventures as you're out there in the world. I mean, that's the point. Like Chelsea said, a big part of that is making sure to share, right? Talk about it. It's a super fun community to be a part of.
Yeah, no, try not to be scared. I get it. It's intimidating, but
how can you be scared?
Just drink more beer and then you'll have liquid courage. It's fine.
Yeah, loosen you right up.